Welcome back to the Comics Cube, everyone. Today we are doing a roundtable on Trese, the anime. And I am with four big Trese fans. So, what's up, everyone? How's everyone doing?
I
Doing great.
Hi.
doing great.
I'm going to ask you guys to introduce yourselves. Tell me your name, how long you've been a fan of Trese, and how you
Mm.
express your fandom or have been expressing your fandom over the last, ever since you've become a fan. So let's start with William.
So yeah, I'm William, and I've been a fan since 2016. I saw Trese in a bookshelf in a certain bookstore and bought one, and then fell in love with it. It's the first book. Then afterwards, I kept on buying the next book until I found out about the fandom, which is the Trese Facebook group, and surprisingly, it had memes. And there, I actually, befriended Rebecca, and I started making my own memes too. So that's how I expressed my love for the fandom. Then, yeah, discuss theories with other fans.
So you mentioned memes, so you guys know who I'm asking next.
Yes.
Exactly.
Hmm. Sino
Rebecca.
kaya? Sino kaya sa mga to?
Ah, Hello, my name is Rebecca. I've been a fan of Trese since 2015, and I was introduced to Trese by my boss. I call him my boss, but he's not really my boss. I call him my boss because he used to handle indie comics publishing. So he introduced it to me and he told me, "Hey Bex, if you're looking for comics to read, why don't you go read Trese?" And I was like, "Really? What's that?" Then he kind of showed me pictures of the Trese Night Gallery. And the first art that I've seen was the Santelmo.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I thought it was so very pretty. And I thought, all right, I'll buy this. And he told me to buy a book of murders. And I was like, oh, all right. Then one day while I was waiting in NBS for my friend, I saw an unwrapped copy of Book of Murders and I was deliberating, should I read this now or should I buy it then read it? I kind of wanted to buy it then read it. But then again, my curiosity won over and I read it from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. while waiting for my friend.
Book of Murders, for those who don't know, is the compilation of the first three books.
Yes.
Rebecca, how do you express your fandom?
Oh, I make memes. Um, Pretty much I express myself in different ways, mostly by making memes. I also make fan fiction and I draw art. And of course, share theories with fans and I invite more fans into the fold, but mostly it's through the memes.
Rebecca doesn't just make Tressa memes, everyone. She also makes memes of budget. Okay, let's move on to B.
Okay, so yeah, good evening. My name is B. Kanapi. I have been a fan of Tesla since 2009. Um,
You've been a fan longer than I have.
wow, sorry naman. Kind of old. Anyway, so anyway, I saw
So am I.
I
It's
saw
okay.
I think it's one of those one of those indicates. I think 2009 indicate that I went there. Then I was trying to buy stuff. Then I saw Tessa being displayed. Then I picked up a copy and just glanced to it. And then I saw the Murder in Balete story, and I was immediately hooked. I ended up buying book one and two on the spot, and then book three eventually. Then book four. Then I joined the fandom around 2010. At the time, the fandom was not as active and as vibrant as it was. In fact, kailan lang nabuhay yung fandom eh.
Would you say 2015?
Would I say? Hindi, actually hindi. Feeling ko mga 2017, 2018, biglang nagkaroon ng shit posting.
Who was making those?
So yun. As for how I express my fandom, well, I mean, I'm probably similar to most fans in the sense that, I trade, you know, parang we open discussions, we talk about it, hinihimay talaga namin, we we prop up, we make ships, we dunk ships, and so on. I think ang naging point of defense ko na lang is when I incorporated Tessa into other things that I do in my life. Like, for example, I'm a tour guide for a touring company called Wonder Manila. So
Mhm.
back in 2019, I did a Tessa tour, which honestly had nothing to do with Tessa except for the fact na Halloween, and which I invited some of the fandom. So the three people appearing here with us, that's the first time I've actually met them in person, among with a lot of other members of the fandom. Then I staged an online tour for Trese last year. It was called Through the Dragon Gate. So I focused on the comics, and I think that went over pretty well naman. So this year I'm going to do it again, a little earlier this time, probably next month, this July. But this time, Through the Dragon Gate anime version. So that's that.
And
So yeah,
how can if people want to take that, how would they be able to find you on Facebook?
I'm gonna load it up. The tour will live stream over the Facebook page of Wonder Manila. So that's facebook.com/Wonder Manila,
Okay,
and it will go live. Tama ba? At 8 o'clock on July 3. So we can
awesome,
announce it. Awesome. Okay.
awesome. Nikki, how do you express your Tresa fandom?
Obviously, yeah. I cosplay. So yeah, I'm Nikki. I have been a fan since 2011. So I love detective stories and detectives. My college friend James told me that there's this local comic book that's right up my alley and introduced me to Trese. We went to National Bookstore and he showed me the comic book kasi. That time we didn't have our own copies yet. We were starving college students, so we just knew what to open. And yes, he actually gifted me my Trese 4 copy. It's 10 years old and it's still alive. So when I joined the Facebook group at around 2011, no one seems to be talking about it that much yet.
Hmm.
Like everyone is shy, I think. And then more and more people came and it became really active. I'm not sure what year it became active, maybe around 2012 or 2013, but we didn't have the concept of memes yet.
Yeah,
So
not yet.
aside, yeah, no, there is no memes yet, just pure discussion, maybe shipping. Um, I express myself, my fandom, by cosplaying, and I occasionally write fan fiction. And I sometimes participate in theorizing and discussions. Nah, that's it.
Awesome. The anime. Uh, when you first heard about it, what did you think? What were your expectations? B, you can start with you.
Okay, when I first heard that there was going to be an anime, that Tessa was going to be adapted as an anime and it was going to be on Netflix, it was very exciting. Because, but I guess my experience with this is a little different because I'm a media practitioner by trade, and I did I did broker a meeting with Budget with one of the media conglomerates in the country, which I was working for back in 2012, and that did not pan out, and I am totally happy that it didn't. So when I heard that si Budget and Kajo were able to land that next Netflix deal, I was very happy because it was for me the perfect platform for Tese. It had to be Netflix. It had to be an international market. It had to be that big because it was Tese we're talking about. So yeah, very absolutely thrilled that they ended up with Netflix.
It's interesting to me that you mentioned that it had to be international because the comic was written in English, and I
Mhm.
felt like because of that, it was always primed to go international. Would you agree with that, or was that just a matter of budget? Doesn't can't write in Filipino.
Ikaw nagsabi na hindi ako. Uncomfortable silence.
I have him on record saying that I don't feel bad about it. So,
I
uh,
personally kasi
yeah.
that Tese would have been stronger in Filipino, and the Filipino editions kind of prove that. So, ewan ko. but that's a personal opinion. That's a personal preference in my part. I don't mind the English versions, but some of it really flowed better in Filipino. But it's not the language choice was not the reason I thought it was good for Netflix. It's how it was written. It's how it
Mhm.
represented Philippine culture and Philippine mythology.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Rebecca?
Um, hmm. Actually, you're gonna laugh at me when Sir Rage, yeah, you know my boss, he's the one who sent me the link to the Rappler article, and my first reaction was I thought someone was playing a prank on me.
I did laugh
I'm
at you. I'm sorry.
I'm I'm serious. I thought someone was playing some kind of elaborate prank on me. And then I realized, oh no, this isn't a prank. This is real. This is Rappler. And then I don't laugh. I vomited.
What?
Yeah, out of stress. Yeah, like
Pinas-tes. O, sige.
Okay.
it's not. I mean, out of shock. I
Did you
mean,
guys know this before we got on this show?
Yes.
I did.
Nick,
Yes.
I
Nikki
like how
and
you're
Will knows.
I like how you're all still reacting like it's a new thing though. Like you're still surprised that it happened.
Well, I'm surprised.
I am. Okay.
I mean, I don't know who didn't know about that because I made a meme about it. Yeah, I did. But yeah, that's how I reacted. I vomited. It's embarrassing as heck, but yeah, that's what happened because I was so shocked. Like, oh my gosh, this is actually happening. So then my initial reaction is like, okay, time to make memes out of it. Spread the word. And well, but still I began thinking, oh no, so Netflix picked it up. So how is it going to be like? Is it going to be like Castlevania or something? Is it gonna be like this or like that? So many speculations running through my head. But then again, it's normal to think that way. And then I began thinking, oh no, are they going to make it in black and white? Are they gonna get it like local BAs or international BAs? Stuff like those. Just lots and lots of questions.
Okay. And interestingly, you're talking about the expectations. That's a lot of time to build up expectations. Did you want it to be in black and white?
Hmm. Honestly, 50-50 because being in black and white it would be a really nice experience to see, but then again I thought, oh man, but this is most likely going to be in colored, but who knows, so I just waited it out.
Yeah. You know, somebody decided to set his TV to black and white. I don't know if you guys
Yeah,
saw
we
that
saw
post.
that. That's
We
very
Yeah, we
cool.
saw.
saw.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Because you may as well if you want to try it out. Nikki, what did you expect from the show when it was announced?
Oh god. Before it was announced, we were just memeing the hell out of it. Like we didn't believe it was gonna happen. It the fandom was leaning more on okay, maybe it's going to be a live action film. So when it was announced, I woke up, read the headlines. I didn't believe it at first, and then I went to our group chat. Bex, Will, and I had this group chat. And then oh god, it's real. It's real and it's happening. Cue that gif of Michael from The Office. It's happening. That's me. My expectation. I honestly thought it was going to be like Sin City, like black and white, but the red things are going to be red.
Mm.
Yeah. But
The Filipino version is colored. The Bob Ong translations, kind of.
yes, I
Yeah.
kind of yes. Like it had a grayscale. It had some colors, but red is very prominent.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. But I had high expectations. Of course, it's Netflix. I've
Yeah.
seen Netflix animes. It has to be good. So yeah, it didn't disappoint.
Okay. And William?
Yeah, I found out about it when after I bought the Indiegogo campaign. You remember that?
I remember that. Yeah.
So after that the anime was announced, the you know a lot of people availed for that campaign, and that really wow. I was shocked too because I bought the Indiegogo not because of the anime announcement, but I bought it because it was a collectible at that time. And yeah, then I was actually thinking on how many episodes are where Netflix gonna do and what language would be the opening or the ending theme song, you know. Because if it's going to be an anime, you're expecting it to be Japanese, right? Um, but you know, it's a Filipino show, so you're thinking that they should go with Filipino music, so then which they did with both, right?
With UDD, yeah.
So
The title of the song is Cebuano,
yeah,
Paagi.
even
Paagi
though the
and
rest of the song is in Tagalog
Tagalog and English.
and English.
mm, yeah,
And
to be honest, some
the
lines.
intro is an Ifugao chant
It is.
A hood
called
hood.
the Hood
A
Hood.
hood.
It's about fruit something, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
They sing
I
it at special occasions like harvests and funerals.
Yeah, they sing it
yeah that
at like weddings and stuff. I've actually heard one, but I don't remember it until this one, and then the person that I went to the wedding of said, "Oh, they played that at my wedding," and I'm like,
Oh,
I don't remember. I'm sorry. Okay, so before we get into what everybody thought of the show, very quickly, number one, what language did you watch it in? Anyone can answer.
all languages.
How long is this?
I mean, every episode we change
no
the
first
language.
first first.
Oh, the first watch was in Tagalog.
Okay.
Yeah, same.
Same.
Oh man, my first watch was in English.
Okay. Why in English?
Will? Um, why did I watch it in English? Oh, it's because of the raid watch party and it was set in English, so I had to continue it in English.
Oh, right, yeah.
Ah. I like I think Nikki, I was switching back and forth between English and Filipino. My first watch, I'm like, I wonder how they said it in this one.
Oh no, no, like
Which
In the second episode, I kind of switched back and forth because I wanted to hear Malixi's voice.
you're not the only one. I can't believe I've heard so many people say that to me over the past 24 or 48 hours. Yeah.
which
You switch
Maliksi?
Manny Jacinto.
Mani is okay. From yeah, so the English version of his voice.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the Tagalog version, Steve De La Cruz.
Yeah. And so would you say did you have a preference for which language after having seen it in multiple languages?
In general
Yeah.
or just Maliksi? In
No, I
general,
mean no, I mean in general, yeah.
in general, it's
Obviously with
Tagalog.
Maliksi, it's
My favorite is Tagalog. It just
okay.
captured the scenery. It just goes perfectly well with the scenery.
Yeah, it's so natural.
Yeah, it's so natural.
B?
I watched it in Tagalog first. I'm trying to watch it in English now, but in bits and pieces because well, real life responsibilities keep getting in the way of the watching. But I watched the whole series in Tagalog straight up. Because I know I just listened to the English versions of phrases that I was curious about, but I haven't really rewatched the series in English just yet.
My personal opinion is that I wish I could mix and match them.
Yes,
So
Yeah.
there's somewhere I'm like, oh, Tagalog one is better, and there's somewhere where I'm like, the English one is better, and I wish I could. If I had better editing skills, I might even do it. But okay, so what did everybody think of the show, though? So let's start with William here. What did everyone think of the show? Tell me what you thought of the show.
Well, when I asked Sir Budge about the details, and you know, he can't tell, um, he can't actually give any details. He just said that the show will be, you know, connecting stories from the comics, but he didn't say which. But you know, I learned in the in an interview in Comic Con, I think, and they said that it would be books 1 to 3, and yeah, I was expecting that the show will be inspired, but they actually used the plots from those books and really connected things that I did not expect to be connected.
What did you
Yeah, and
feel about
then
that? About the way that they connected different stories? Because spoilers to people watching. Why are you watching this if you didn't expect spoilers? So
Yeah, actually.
to be
Yeah.
honest, stop
they
watching.
take stories from the comics, separate stories from the comics, and then they stitch it together. What did you think of the way that they were stitching it together? Because the first one was Murder on Baleta Drive, which is
Yeah,
the first one, and 13 Stations, which
Yes,
is
exactly.
somewhat.
around book 7. So what did you think about the way that they put it together?
Yeah, I didn't expect that both stories would complement each other, because the plot of the first case was so, it's about ghosts, right? And it's amazing how they connected it to, the Aswang plot from the 13 stations. So, uh, they really put everything into, uh, they really thought about everything. They didn't just simply put it there and then said, yeah, we can connect that. No, but it was for a bigger plot that was if you watch the whole show, they revealed at the end that it was actually part of the big plan, the big bad.
Nikki,
Yeah.
what do you think?
Well, the problem with me is that instead of going in cold, I decided to reread the entire thing over again. So
How
I came in
long before the series did you reread the whole thing?
maybe a week before.
This is a terrible idea. I
It
just
is.
want you to
I
know
agree.
this.
It is. Don't do that. Don't make that mistake. So I came in with heavy expectations. I was expecting that maybe the books 1 to 3 until Baptism of Alexander Trese. I was surprised in episode 1 they used a book 7 case. So it's like what's going on? I was so confused. So eventually I learned to let go of the expectations, but my initial reactions were all capital what? So yeah, I had to rewatch it again to see.
How often did you think the words, but that's not what happened in the book?
Oh god, if we had a drinking game, every time I think that I'd be dead from alcohol poisoning. But yeah,
But
that
were you able to when on your rewatch were you able to divorce yourself from that idea now? From the
yes, yes, I watched it 2 days later. I rewatched it 2 days later. I Some of the cases were interweaved. Yeah, they were some are better than the others. Some conjunctions are better than the others. Like the first case, Murder at Maleta Drive and
13
13
station.
stations.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Kind of yes. Some that, for example, oh, this is heavy spoiler pala for the anime. Is that okay?
That's
Yeah, what are you
fine.
watching?
Why are you watching if
Why
you're
are
not
you
expecting spoilers? Watch the
watching?
show first, then come back here.
The most unexpected combination was the Nova Honor case. I didn't expect that. I didn't know it.
Aurora.
The Nova. Oh my God, Nova Aurora. Yes, yes. I'm so sorry,
I
but
love it.
yeah. Oh God. Yeah, Nova Aurora case. I'm not sure how to feel about that.
Why?
But,
Why? Let's talk about that. Why?
I don't know. I can't actually pinpoint why it didn't sit well with me. Maybe because I was looking forward to the who was the other actress in the Nova Aurora case?
Peter
Heather.
Evangelista.
Evangelista.
Heather.
Heather Evangelista. I was expecting that.
They
Maybe that's
made
why. I was gonna say another name again, but thank you, Rebecca.
Was it her real name?
No, it's not. I was gonna say the real actress's name, but
So I'll leave you time to think about why it didn't sit well with you. Maybe we can get back to that later. Rebecca, what do you think of the show?
Oh, oh no. Oh man, I had so much expectations, but you know how attached I am to the books. And well, okay. For me it was more 60-40. I like how they interweaved some of the episodes. Some were a little clunky. Um, well, can I like
Go.
do
Yeah.
an in-depth? Okay, so the first one I can totally understand why they stuck the two of it together. Like first um at first you'll think, oh man, that doesn't make sense. Why would you put a story from book 7 into the first one? And but then again, you have to remember that 13 Stations is a standalone before it went into book 7. So
It doesn't even matter where 13 Stations is. You could
yeah,
publish
it
that
doesn't
in any.
matter. It doesn't matter what it is. And since 13 Stations was made for a standalone, it's a perfect introduction for the Trese series. So it makes sense. And there are elements in the first episode that really took me off guard, like the lady in Ballet Tribe being the mistress of the mayor. I like that. It was wow. What a way to connect it. Um, what else? In episode 2, it's a little more clunkier. Okay,
Okay.
so I can totally see what they were trying to do. Um, you're gonna wonder why would you stick the case with Live Well onto Malixi's story. They do have one connecting element though, but they seem to have forgotten to execute it in the anime. And that one connecting element is Ami. Because when you see in book 1 in Rules of the Race, Ami was the one of the girls, right? The Wind Girls who told Alex, "Oh, there's this racer." And in book 2 in Livewell, she's the one who told Alex, "Oh, that's not a sigil from our tribe. That's a sigil from the Lightning tribe." And she mentions that she's dated those boys before and had pretty good information on how to defeat them. But it seems like in the anime, they seem to have forgotten that connection. They could have easily melded it together with Hani. Man, I keep mixing the girls with Ami being the same informant. But I really like the second episode because I have a bias towards Maliksi.
Ewan ko sa'yo.
I'm sorry, I love him so much.
Impulse.
I love him so much. I love him very much, and I love what the second episode
You and
did
half
to
the
him.
fandom. What did the second episode do to him?
Can we just say ngayon that anime Maliksi is so much better than comics Maliksi?
I agree.
That is how the Prince of the Tikbalag should be carrying himself. Not fawning over Alex at every single turn. Ayoko nung sabihin, ay nako, ewan ko. Anyway, continue, sorry.
Exactly what B said. Maliksi. Okay, I am so sorry for the slander, but anime Maliksi is simply superior to comics Maliksi, which is kind of ironic because in the anime, Senor Armanas is disappointed with his son. Like, Senor, if you met the comics version of your son, you would throw him in a seminary or a boot camp, whichever comes first. But seriously, Maliksi is we discussed this before, B. Maliksi is dignified. He carries himself well. He's proud. He doesn't want to be beaten by lesser humans. And me and Nikki discussed this before, that we were worried about his portrayal. Like,
Yeah.
on a scale of 1 to 10, we were worried on a scale of 11 about
Yeah.
his portrayal because he said some things that wouldn't really endear
Well,
him to the
yeah.
audience. He really said something skippy, and the whole kidnapping thing was also really, really skeevy. But
He's a creep.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It was creepy. But in here, they managed to like remove that implication and improve his character as well.
Mm.
So I really liked it. However, I also, in the case of the Live Well Village, I found it severely lacking.
Mm-hmm.
And I found it
Even when
bland.
you saw the two dead guys in the
Oh.
folder,
Um, okay, I love the cameos, okay? I love them very, very much. However, it's just that it was more tell than show. Like, um, um, Nuno just said to them that the people in Live Well just worshipped the Bagyons, but um we got you gotta remind yourself that it's also the people's fault where these people were being sacrificed. They knowingly sacrificed these people. I'm not really disappointed with Spunky not appearing. I mean, I'm gonna miss him, but I wasn't so hung over it. What really shook me was hearing Dante Basco's voice say Alexandra Trese.
Yes.
It was
Oh my
extremely
God.
surreal for me. Like when he said Alexandra Trese, I was like, that's Zuko. That's Zuko's voice. That's Zuko's voice, and he's saying Alexandra Trese's name.
he's saying,
Did I
Alexandra Trese, you have crossed my father. That's
and
totally
I
Zuko.
and I thought, oh my gosh,
Hi. Then.
did I step into an alternate universe? It felt so surreal. But
I love
I
how
really
even
love
through all of the static, you know it's Dante Basco talking. He's got his voice is no one else has
and
that voice, right?
yeah, no
One
one else
reason to
has
watch
that.
the English version.
Yeah.
Yes. And I really, really like the battle scene. Honest, the failing car.
So who else was disappointed when you saw who Dante Basco was playing
No?
A little
Oh,
bit.
and
Beth.
Oh,
Yeah.
realizing that he did not have long?
Yes.
Yeah, I was
That's me.
expecting someone,
yeah,
main
I was
A main
character.
expecting
character,
something.
perhaps. Yeah.
Me
Yeah, because
and
he was such a
Will,
big person.
yeah, me and Will were expecting that he would voice Jeremy because American Dragon, and it would be a
Yeah,
funny
he played that.
reference.
True.
True.
But I think Will also said maybe he might voice the Kambal.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah, he said that too.
B, what did you think of the show?
okay.
I know you posted your reaction of after the first episode. I
No,
know it got to you.
hindi naman siya action talaga. More of, kasi, ano ba to? Oh, sige. Ito na lang. I think 6 episodes was too short.
I agree.
It's too
Yes.
short for what they were trying to do. And a lot of storylines needed time to percolate and develop over time. And a lot of storylines went by too fast. I felt that the Bagyons should have been more instrumental across episodes. They should have been characters that appeared in multiples before you, alam mo yon, if they were going to mix and match episodes anyway, then they shouldn't have tried to make it episodic. They should have made, alam mo yun, they should have made the story
Big
flow
part.
across 6 episodes rather than chuck, chuck, chuck. Okay, I'm, can I just preface na everything I'm going to say ngayon does not change the fact that I totally enjoyed watching the anime and I'm very happy that it happened.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of stuff dito that just seemed underbaked, underdeveloped. Like, yung revelation ni Nuno that he had to gather for components for his we didn't see anybody picking up stuff from the wreckage except yung yung Chanak. Yun lang. But we didn't see anything. There was no planting of clues. There was no payoff. So yung payoff kind of felt that, yung pa rin ginagawa ninyo, sige. Kasi hindi na-establish ng tama. And if the Talagbosa was going to be such a big character by episode 6, parang the flashbacks didn't cut it. So I felt that six and everything that I'm saying can be traced back to the fact that we only had 6 episodes to hash out books 1 to 3,
I
which
agree.
might have not been enough.
And
But
also, like, if you look at, if you read the books, if you read the books from books 1 to 3, it's structurally very similar. You have very episodic stories, and then you have a long story.
well, but at the same time naman din kasi, comics storytelling is fine because you're not chasing 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
'Di ba? You can make a 5 minutes, you can make a 5 minute story, 10 minute story, and it's fine because it's comics. You hit at your own pace. Eh. But once you transfer it into moving media, you're chasing a specified time frame. Tapos you only had 6 episodes. Granted, full 30 minutes to, hindi to 21-minute edit, full 30 minutes to. Mas they had a little time. I felt that some of it, there were some elements that were underdeveloped. So while I enjoyed the anime very much, and while I will rewatch key scenes over and over and over again, I think that there's a lot of room for improvement moving forward.
And I think that's
And credits, never mind, let's not go there yet.
let's go there later. Let's go there later. I think that's a normal thing. We're going to be, if there's room for improvement, because one of the things that I was worried about,
Mm.
one of the things I was worried about even before I saw the show, was is the is are people going to criticize it based on execution or based on concept? Because if you criticize it based on execution, that means in future seasons you can fix it. If you criticize it based on concept, we can't change the concept. So, and I think overall, when I'm reading the reviews, I think everybody is in love with the concept and the designs and everything. And people really like the characters. I am seeing a lot of love for your boy Mal. Seems to
Maybe a little too much.
maybe a little maybe a little too much. Yeah, yeah. Do you guys ship Alex with Mal? No?
Oh my god.
Alex with Mal.
Very, very much.
Marco.
Okay.
Wow,
No,
Will, I can't
no,
believe you're ending our friendship
no.
with this. I'm kidding.
No, it was actually them. It wasn't me.
Ah, I sorry. Anyway,
Diba?
no.
They were shaping Marco to be her love interest.
Mhm.
Maganda lang yung kambal kasi ginamit daw sila. Ginamit.
I remember B, Rebecca, Will, and I, and actually the gang had a discussion about this when we met for the
Yun.
tour, right? When we were in
Yeah.
the tour.
One night in the first one night in Intramuros back in 2019, where all of us
Yes.
shopped into that little store in Intramuros.
Yes.
Napainom namin si Rebecca.
Mm.
Yeah. So we talked about Malex and how to fix it if we want to make it work. What do we change? And I think we all agreed that it's not about Alex. This is about Malixi's character. If we want him to go toe to toe with Alexandra, we have to improve his character because he's too much like a child in the current in the comics, right? He honestly doesn't deserve Alex. He doesn't deserve to stand with Alex with that attitude. So when I saw the anime, I was, is this catering to me, a Alex fan? So I couldn't help but think, yeah, because undeniably the Malex fan base is kind of big.
Yeah, that's half
The
the fan
biggest.
base, more than half. Then there's the other ones that ship her with somebody else.
It's okay, ship who you want, but I ship Malex. I'm so sorry, Will, for your Marco and Alex. It's not gonna end well.
No, I
Sorry
did
to
not
tell you.
ship that.
No, let's talk about the changes that they made, right? So one of them is Marco,
Yeah, new character.
new character
Right.
voiced by Darren Chris, which means they were
Ex-
serious about this character. So what did everyone think of this new character, Marco?
Wala lang.
Can we like go into spoiler territory?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Um,
Aren't we already?
We're
It's-
way deep into
I mean,
spoiler territory.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
way deep. It's kind of obvious why they like made his character because of what happened in episode 6. Everybody knows what happened in episode 6, and it seems like they were setting him up to be, you know, a replacement. But then I realized it wasn't there another character that in the books that they could have used. I mean, they made Tatyaba younger, so Nikki, you already know who I'm thinking about.
What?
Who are you thinking
Already,
about?
Who are you thinking about?
Nathan Alas. I think Nathan Alas. I mean, he was only in a standalone story,
This is
but
this is how you know. This is how you know Rebecca is like this gigantic fan. She names
Yes.
she names someone and
Si
and B
Nathan Alas.
and B is like, let me look
Precinto
through my
13.
books to remember who he
Precinto
is.
13, like
It's
that
from
small
Precinto
spin-off in the
13.
Blogspot.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Pretty much since I've also read some interviews with Sir Budget, and he discusses ship this, ship that, maliksi this. I want it to be like moonlighting or Batcat. Um, um, I think he kind of mentioned that what if I like did it with a rookie cop or someone as experienced as her, speculation that then I thought, I mean, Nathan Alas is pretty much the biggest candidate if you want a cop for a love interest for Trese. I mean, one, he's hot. Second,
Wow.
hey,
Wow,
Maliksi is
That-
hot too.
I'm really glad that's the first criteria for a cop. But okay.
Hot.
Yes.
Hotness noted.
Characters we ship to Alex are hot. Come on.
You know,
Um,
yeah, go ahead, sorry.
okay. One, he's hot. Two, he's the rookie cop. Three, it's been proven that he has a pretty good heart. And four, he seems to be going in line with Captain Guerrero's values. So I think Nathan Alas would have been a good rip from the original comics. But then again, it's cool too
When did
with
when did
Marco.
Precinto 13 come out?
10 years ago. I don't remember what year. Many years ago.
Several
First
years.
the first encounter with it is around
Napanapin.
2015, but it came out earlier than that. So maybe around 2014.
Okay.
Because yeah, they had like four issues.
So
Yeah.
Rebecca, is this your moment to say to if you can look into the camera if you want, to tell Tanya and Jay they should hire you as a consultant?
Oh my
Oh no.
goodness.
That
Um, I mean, I can provide them with some screenshots, but that's all. It would be so embarrassing.
Okay.
Ano yan?
So let's talk about the other change that Rebecca alluded to. The show kills Captain Guerrero.
mm,
Mm.
Scott and Patcher.
What did people think of this?
I hated that.
Explain.
Some
Sorry.
people
yeah, I
cried. I
disliked
didn't.
it. Yeah, same.
No, I didn't because
I
this is
had
not
a
his
thinking
first
team.
rodeo.
Wait.
It
Time,
isn't his
time.
first rodeo.
Time out. Let's have B
Sorry,
speak
go,
first, then we can go
B.
to Nikki.
I didn't like it because I already suspected that they were priming to be killed at the end of the first season because they were laying it very thick during the whole zombie segment over there. Na parang unang-una, it wasn't his precinct that was being attacked in the comics. So yung shift pa lang, that he had to make a last stand and all of that, sabi ko, shucks, may mangyayari siguro dito. But I guess because you were trying to rush through the character development of again 6 episodes, way too quick for that much story that they were trying to tell. The moment didn't land. Okay, I'm not even gonna refer to the Skyworld version of how that character died because just gonna let's not quote comics that a lot of people might have not even read or heard about
Hey,
in
you're
the.
the one who brought it up.
Alam
Exactly.
ko nang doon papunta si Rebecca eh. Alam ko na doon papunta tong tatlong to eh. So,
Oh my god.
tingnan natin na yung just the comics. Unang-una, the guy has been a steadying figure all throughout the comic. So him getting killed at the last episode na hindi nag-land yung ending seems like a wasted opportunity, I guess. I felt that you could have sacrificed somebody else. Maybe Marco? No, sige lang. I don't know.
So you keep on
I get
bringing
what
up.
they were trying to do. I get what they were trying to do. I just don't think it landed as well as they would have hoped it did.
Nikki, you were gonna say something.
I honestly expected it. Like they mentioned, there were a lot of death slugs in that episode. I think it was episode 4 in the prison. And I think it really makes sense because Captain Guerrero is like he was from Anton's time. Kumbaga, it's about time for someone else, someone younger to step up. So maybe they were trying to show that Captain Guerrero is to Anton while Tapia is to Alexandra. So like bringing up passing the torch, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand.
Mm.
Anyone else have any thoughts on this? Did anybody? Because Rebecca, you mentioned people cried.
I didn't.
Of course you
You
did.
did,
You
you
did
did.
it too.
You
Rebecca,
did.
Rebecca's like, at least it's not Mal.
Nako,
My
you cannot.
god.
You cannot.
Hey.
You're getting
um
there
no,
too.
I mean, I I didn't cry because as Nikki said, isn't his first rodeo. So like all my emotions went to the first one. But then when he died here and rather brutally, it felt rather like it felt cheap. That's all I have to say. It felt cheap.
I
Like
suppose I just spoiled the comic by basically saying he doesn't die in the comic. Anyway, go on.
I mean, it felt really cheap. Um,
Yes.
it's also kind of odd because I mean he is from Anton's time, as Nikki said, but it felt it still felt weird. I didn't cry, but it just felt weird that
There's
he
some
died so soon.
the
I just
execution thing. Yeah.
yeah, it felt off to me. I can't really put it into words, but it just felt off to me.
William, do you have a particular reaction to this change?
Yeah, well, yeah, I really didn't expect that because, like they said, it was cheap to do, and when it happened, I was like, wait, he died? It felt, I was not invested, to his character.
Yun.
He didn't play really a big part on the other episodes for you to, didn't really show the bond between them and Alex for you to acknowledge that you would be sad about his death. It's like that.
That's interesting because he was actually one of my favorite characters. Him and the Kambal were my favorite characters
In the comic or in the anime?
in the anime.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. He was very fleshed out in the anime. He seemed like the father figure. He seemed like more of a father figure
Mm.
than the comics version, who's more of a Alex, we have weird shit going on dito. Can you come? Ito kasi parang, Alex, I'm proud of you. Yes. Yung
I
ganun,
want you to do that voice for the rest of the show.
sige, let's do that. Anyway, anyway, tama eh. And they really invest, and in fairness to the writers, they really invested in trying to build up as this figure. Na he's not just some liaison sa police. He's kind of a father figure. He's important. He's a good cop. but I also felt that they kind of hammered it down too much. He's good cop, good cop. He's a good cop. He's a good cop. Tas
Yeah.
hanggang dun lang, but we don't see bonding moments. We don't see uh, we don't see yung investing. We don't see lighter moments between him and everybody else. Walang familiarity. He's not invited for coffee. The comics actually had bits and pieces na ganyan eh. Ito parang nagkulang and they just invested. This was medyo ham-fisted in the way that they were leading to his death was it really just wasn't fleshed out well, I think.
There was a lot of talk about family in the show. That what did people think of this?
Before anything else, Rebecca, pwede mo bang ikwento yung isang pinost mo? Yung thinking game? Kwento
Oh
naman yun,
man,
no?
I just
Sa'yo pa nang galing. Ikaw na
oh
hindi
yeah.
umibig, sa'yo pa nang galing.
Basically, I made a meme of Alexandra that says Alexandra trucking down. Talagpas. Oh, I'm so sorry. Just
Ay,
thinking
ayan.
about it makes me laugh. Hold on. Give me
I
a few minutes.
understood none of that.
Okay.
You should adopt like pull yourself together, young woman.
Okay. All right. So I made a meme earlier and it said Alexandra trying to talk down Talagbusaw on episode 6. And then I posted a photo of Janina San Miguel
Oh my
saying,
God.
my family is very, Janina San Miguel, the girl who was stuttering about her family in a beauty pageant, because that gave me the same vibes as episode 6.
Hanapin mo na lang yung meme, Duy. Hanapin mo na lang yung meme.
So
I can send it to you. It's still in my
you-
messenger.
so do you feel any pressure right now?
No, I'm just laughing.
Also, you get it.
Oh man, because thinking about it just makes me laugh so hard, and I'm really crying tears. Oh man, I smudged my makeup. Crap. Because it was so funny, I can't get over it. But yeah, I made a meme of it because it was just ridiculous. That's all I gotta say. I mean, Alex mentions family so much, and I was thinking, oh my goodness, is this Fast and the Furious? And then it kind of also irked me because she kept for all her posturing about family. We rarely got to know hers.
Hmm?
You mean
We rarely got
brothers?
to know hers.
You mean
Yes,
the
Yeah,
brothers?
brothers.
the brothers, the grandpa, they are an important part of the
See,
family.
that though is a problem that only the comics fans would have a problem with.
That is true. That is true.
Although I went to 4chan and
Okay, there's your first problem.
oh no. Wait. Let me talk. I went to 4chan and I looked up some discussions on Trese, and then I saw a few people asking, oh, I hope we actually get to know about her brothers. And I saw that, oh, these guys are new fans, but they were curious to know more about the Trese brothers. And I thought, oh, so I'm not the only one that feels that way.
No.
see.
What I'm saying is you have to be a fan to find it a problem.
Oh,
A new fan would think, I hope we get to know more about her brothers.
Well, that's
Oh.
the thing about that. You see this family portrait of Miranda, Anton, and Alexandra. Meanwhile, they introduced the other siblings in one season. Didn't you have like
No
6
favorite.
children? Yeah, okay, Anton, I have seen what you've done for your favorite child. I see you. So like
it's
the
clear
anime watchers
Anton has a
noticed it.
favorite child.
Yeah. So what was the purpose of that family portrait? Is it to emphasize his favoritism? Or did they just forget that he had 4 other sons that they actually showed in the ballet scene?
Yeah, they are actually in the
We're
ballet scene.
reading too much into it. Unika ihak. Ayun naman.
Unika iha.
He nag-cries in the corner.
Unika iha.
Bacon.
Nag-turns in her grave.
Appearance ni Father Matt
Mm.
dun sa group. mukhang malayo yung agot ng mga lalaki dun kay Alex. Hindi ka iya. Right.
Yeah, I've always thought she was significantly younger.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so we're talking about her family. What did people think of the change to the prophecy?
is it really a change?
Or is it a change?
Is it really a change?
Who's lying is what I'm saying.
That was
Yeah.
so lying for sure. Or he has a warped version of.
Mm.
Basta I don't think that what he was saying was 100% yun. I don't think so. Because basically, it would have played up to his advantage kung if Alex turned right there and then if she just swung over and went nuts, that would have suited him. So I guess he would have said what he had to say to convince her otherwise. Having said that, I kinda like the change. I'm not mad about it.
Really?
I'm not. I'm
So here's my
disappointed
one
that
problem
he
with the change. Here's my one problem with the change. I have exactly one
Okay,
problem with the
okay.
change. If Anton is the sixth child, and he knows that the fifth child of the sixth child is going to have a problem, is going to be a problem for humanity.
Oh
Why?
no. Oh no.
Why didn't he just, knowing he is the sixth child, not have a fifth child? That's
Exactly.
Maybe
That's it.
he was keeping count and he said, the fifth one is the last one, but surprise, wins.
Yeah, but the fifth child is supposed to bring chaos.
he
so
didn't
we're
think he
like,
didn't think he was I know this, the explanation is that he didn't think he was going to be the sixth child in question, but
Yeah.
still, why would you risk it?
Yeah, you're the sixth
They were
child.
following their
What are the
intimate.
chances?
I
The
don't know.
real
He
lesson
was
to
too
this:
confident.
use contraceptives, kids.
He wasn't able to magic it out.
Oh my god.
Asio, no, let's not say that.
Stop.
Fetus deletus.
So what did everybody else think of this change to Sinag?
Sorry, what?
So what
The
everyone else
change to
think of the
Sinag.
change to the fifth child?
Nikki, what do you think?
Oh my god, yeah. Remember how I read the books a week before I watched it?
Oh
Of course, I was
no.
Yep.
outraged. I was
Sabi nga eh.
outraged. Because, our Sinag is our baby in the fandom. She's this
Sinag
pure little
is our
child.
baby.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Never mind that Anton is a shitty father. Sinag, a pure child, supposed to bring destruction upon the world. I'm
Kasalanan
going
nyo
against
yan. Kasalanan yung lahat
Yeah.
yan.
it.
The fandom, okay, for those, for non-fans watching this, the fandom kinda decided that Sinag, the Happy Magic Death Knife, is actually the polar opposite of Alex. So which means that she's in all white and she's the
The
embodiment
fandom just
of happy,
completely
joy,
made
innocence.
this up. This is
But
This is
But
fan.
no,
But
Wait,
wait, no.
wait,
No.
no. They didn't make it up. I have proof.
Yeah.
Sir Kajo
Exactly.
said, I asked this to Sir Kajo. Do you guys, oh man, I'm getting into spoiler territory again. Should I mention it?
go ahead.
Oh,
Okay.
Go for it.
If anyone's been keeping track, everyone here, well, in this chat, knows Treselite, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Treselite is like
fun.
yes, that the
Bookshelf.
Treselite postcard book. So before that got published, you guys know Sir Kajo has been posting like Treselite images in his top. Is it on his Tumblr or a blog spot or both?
Tumblr is Tumblr. Yeah.
This one?
Yes. So I asked Sir Kajo like years ago. Well, I actually just speculated it and said, "What about that chick on the mirror? Maybe that's Sinag." And then Sir Kajo chimes in. I actually took a screenshot of what he said, so it's on my phone right now, and I can send it to you.
Okay.
I creeped.
Receipt.
Yeah, I have receipts. I told you I have a ton of screenshots considering the lore. And Sir Kaju says, yes, Rebecca, when I was consciously drawing Sinag when I was drawing that. So I don't know about Budge, but I always speculated that Sinag was the polar opposite of Alex. Like he described her exactly as pleasant and optimistic to Alex's very prudent and stoic personality. So that's where it came from. And when Treselite got published, the you know it kind of basically added that yeah, Sinag is the softie if you're gonna read the tiny postcard stories attached to it.
I feel like B and William have something to say about this.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Okay. That si Kajo confirmed that or said that, yes, I know about that. But Kajo and Bujet never said that she was Miss Happy Happy Joy Joy and that we're shipping her with a tikbalang.
Oh, that's
That's
Oh
Okay.
shit!
that's
Oh my
question
Okay.
god!
ano.
Okay.
Whole something.
All right. Okay. That's
Slander, slander.
okay.
Lahat
That's
ng ships nung kay Alex and whatever, sige, they go on either sarcastic territory or rodeo. Raunchy,
Oh God.
raunchy, or it gets raunchy. It's ganon. It's dark, it's complicated, it's complex. Yung si Sinag at saka yung tikbalang na yun si Iglap, yung ships nila yung tipo, pupunta ng carnival. Oh my God, the pretty lights.
Oh
Happy, happy,
no.
joy,
Called
cotton
out
candy.
right
Ganon,
now.
yun yung ship. So ngayon, itong fanbase na to, na ganon sinasanay dun sa pagtingin kay, ganon yung
Sinag.
personification ni Sinag, biglang, ay, siya pala yung papatay ng lahat ng tao. Ay, of course, may mga,
So what you're saying is it's the fandom's own fault?
I also need to preface nga pala that I myself have written fanfic on Sinag.
Is she happy, happy, joy, joy?
No, hindi naman masyado.
Oh.
You'll find out soon enough. No, Rebecca.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
oh, Will
Might as
knows
well
about
hint,
that.
man. We might as well hint. Anyway, yun. But I think yun lang kasi. I think because of the fandom, because between book 6 and book 7, we waited for so long. We waited 6,
Yes, we
7.
did.
We waited
A
7
lot of
years
years.
for that.
Mm.
So there has been a lot of speculation, and we got to the point that we were creating our own content already. And I guess you can say we kind of got carried away with some of it. And now there's a lot of headcanon that we kind of now have to dismantle a little bit lang.
Every time
Just to
something
fit
new
in
comes
the
out,
anime.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The anime.
Mm.
Okay. Tell me what you guys thought of the post-credit scene.
Woo.
Ugh,
Okay.
too early.
The
Too
I
early.
think
go for-
I kind of agree with
Really?
Rebecca, but at the same time, I kind of suspect why.
Why?
If it's, I don't think it's going to be 100%, but I think that introducing a new character and a foreign character at that allows Trese to be more regional or more international, and it also deviates from the books na. So you're going to, if hopefully we get a second season, it's going to be brand new stories written for animation directly, which might make it less clunky, which might make it a little bit more smoother. But it may also involve Alex crossing, leaving Manila, going to other countries also. Could be. Although yung pagoda naman, nasa Quiapo naman yung pagoda na yun. So who knows?
End
That's my
credits
take.
thoughts. End credits thoughts, William.
Mm, yeah, it was really weird to see because it's the whole theme of Trese was, for the anime, Filipino mythology, right? And then at the end of, the whole show, they show us this. It deviated from what the show was selling. Now, hey, it's not we're not dealing with tick balance anymore. We're dealing with yang shi, right? So no, it's surprising. I don't even really know where they're going with that. Maybe something with her heritage, because she has Chinese blood.
Mhm.
And the Jiangxi actually knew her name, so that's something. So it might be tied to her past or something. So no, it's really an original.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
completely
that's it.
original character. People were asking me who it was, and I was like, I have no idea who it is. Nikki, what do you think of the end credits?
At first, I had the same thoughts with B, like, oh, we're going overseas. And then I rewatched it and realized, no, we first saw these two guys speaking in Tagalog, roving Manila PF. They were speaking in Tagalog. So this is in Manila. The junction is formerly in Chinatown.
Yeah.
So we're still in Manila, but we're introducing new characters or parang foreign creatures.
Are you good
So,
with the show diverging even more from the comics?
oh, you know what I think? I think it's a filler. Kasi what they did with season one, they combined newer and older cases. They're gonna need more cases before they, if they're going to adopt the main storyline right now, which is the Madame, they're gonna need a lot of filler for an anime.
Ooh, that one.
Do
Yeah.
you think? Do you think they're going to adapt the Madame?
They're gonna change the look of the character for sure.
Yes,
They're
they
gonna
One
have
change
hundred
to.
the
percent.
elements.
They
Yeah,
gotta.
they have to. They
They
have
Yeah,
to.
have
they
to.
have to adopt that and
They
they
have
have to
to.
change the Madame. Kasi the Madame storyline is very crucial.
I
Yeah.
mean, because you notice the Metalero is not in the show.
Yeah.
I'm
Or
not
not
surprised
yet.
either.
Maybe it's going to be.
Nah, not
Also, why
yet.
we're not going to see certain storylines in the animation ever because of its close relation to other IP. We can say that naman. No?
Or real
Can
people.
we refer to the
Yeah.
stories, ba?
Yeah, go
Can
ahead.
we mention?
My Secret
Yung one
Constellation.
with the Secret Constellation has an allusion to Darna. There's a story on book 5, 4.
It's
Maverick Rider, book 4.
Book.
Five.
five.
What's the
It's five.
story?
So on book 5,
The
there's
judge.
The
there's a
judges.
reference to Captain Barbell.
Oh
Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
yeah.
The judge.
The
Oh
reference
yeah.
to
Five.
Captain Barbell. Betalero himself is a reference to Panday. So that's never gonna make it to Trese. So
Uh,
I think, and then there are also storylines that I think might not translate well into TV, or it might be too episodic, or it just not gonna work. So baka nga they have a need to introduce new elements and new stories for the anime while they figured out where the entire series, where the comics is headed. I don't know.
What
So
did it
yeah.
feel like to see Manila animated on
Oh,
Netflix?
oh, absolutely wonderful.
Very surreal.
surreal.
Wasn't an American view of what Manila supposed to look like. It's not the Born Legacy, for example. It's not how Westerners think Manila looks like. It's what Manila actually looks like. And it's chaotic and it's messy and it's gorgeous and it's wonderful. And to see it in a series that to see it in a series that was produced internationally as opposed to something being produced locally then being loaded to Netflix is amazing. It really, really looks good.
That's actually my favorite part of the whole show is the way that they depicted Manila.
Yeah, and
The
they kind of
smallest
brought in a
thing.
lot of the idiosyncrasies of Manila. Like for example, the kambal trying to cool down while walking, tapos bilang may nakalagay na bawal umihi dito sa likod nila. I think it would have completed it if we saw a dog pissing on a someplace or I mean, but they did have a lot of details.
Yeah.
I
I
like the
mean, the
details.
first episode is the MRT malfunctioning. Oh,
Guadalupe.
Guadalupe. How many of us can relate? And then yeah, and go on.
Yun. I guess yun. I mean, they got in the character. They got in Manila quite well. They did it. They did it justice. It looked good, but not in the way that you're trying to sanitize what it looks like. It's
Oh,
Manila.
absolutely
It's
not. Yeah,
Metro
that's Manila.
Manila. Pock
Yeah.
marks and all, nice points and all. It's Manila for what it really is, and it's gorgeous to see it that way.
Someone posted a picture of the De La Rosa walkway, um, side by side with its frame from the show,
Yeah.
and I guessed wrong. I thought that the frame was the picture, and vice versa. Because I was just scrolling. I was like, oh, it's a comparison. and then I took a look to see which one it was, and I'm like, oh wow, I was wrong. That's how good the details were. So how do you guys feel about seeing the city we live in as a
Yeah,
I felt
it felt
sweet.
like home. Right?
yeah,
And
absolutely.
it's so relatable.
It
Rebecca?
felt, yeah, it felt, as I said, surreal, but at the same time, it felt like home. It feels like because I have whenever I walk around, I have a tendency to observe even the tiniest details of the streets, as references for drawing. And whenever you just see these tiny details, like you know, campaign posters or those tiny yero pasted on the walls, shanty houses, stuff like those, interesting shapes and sizes, then seeing that in an animation is kind of something that you walk through every day. Seeing it in a piece of media or animation, and not in a different lens, but the way it is, it kind of feels heartening.
So we're running a little long, so I'm gonna do a bullet round for you guys. So
Okay.
I'm gonna go Rebecca, William, Nikki, B, and I'm just gonna ask a question, okay? So Rebecca,
Okay.
William,
Okay.
Nikki, B. Favorite character?
Good.
We know your
Wait,
answer. I mean, go
wait, am
Rebecca.
I up first? Yeah.
Yes,
Oh
Rebecca,
yeah.
William, Nikki, B. Yeah.
Yes, Rebecca, it's you.
Favorite character. Do I really have to choose one? I
I mean, if it's the Kambal, you can pick both.
so that means I have to choose one. Darn it. Maliksi. I really love obviously. I love Maliksi. I like what they did to Maliksi, but I really, really love Hank. I really
William?
like what they did with him,
Yeah.
from his little purple suit to him swearing at Basilio, from him fangirling on Nova Aurora.
Nova.
It was so funny. It was such a joy to watch. I mean, in I'm, I mean, it's a massive improvement, because we see these tiny little nuances to Hank that we ki- kind of wouldn't expect much, because Hank is like the bartender, right?
Yeah.
He's like he's like Alfred, but seeing him act like your typical Tito just cracks me up. And it feels so relatable, because yeah, your uncle does that. Yeah, your uncle plays the songs from the 70s in their car too. Yeah, they do that. So it feels
You try to change the
like
station, he'll be like,
no, don't touch that. Don't touch that. Oh, and of course, the stinky perfume from Dubai. I mean, my dad, he really, really likes really strong perfume. So can relate, can totally relate to that.
William, favorite character.
I have to copy her answer because it was really true. His character was really, so much better than I've expected. Honestly, if he was the one who got killed by Talagbusa, I would actually cry. That's how much good he was written in the show. But I've heard there was another unexpected fan favorite, Tapia. So everybody was like trying to ship him with everybody else. That's how,
Oh,
yeah, it was really unreal.
Nikki?
Oh God. Just to clarify, anime only or comics?
Just the anime.
Hey,
Just
oh
the
my god.
anime. Okay. Oh, this is so predictable, but Maliksi. Uh, yeah, because I was so worried about his character. Like I was so ready to. Oh God. the international fans are gonna hate Maliksi because of who he is as a person. So I have to be
Comics.
prepared. Maybe they have to write him off next season. But I was so pleasantly surprised to see that he was, you know, fleshed out, more mature, acting regal like the Prince of the Tikbalang that he is. And he's so fun to write. I imagine he was fun to write because of his, aspects. I mean, I'm speaking from a fan fictioner's point of view, of
Yeah.
course. Um, he doesn't. He claims to not care about the politics of the underworld and the sky world, but then we see him next warning Alex about the so-called traitors, that Vic Balang officially not siding with any clans or not respecting the accords. He does the opposite of what he says in the anime. So that's why I like him. That's so predictable, but yeah, I'm
Me?
not sorry.
Okay. While I like what they did with Maliksi and I like how the Kambal were fleshed out, and yes, I am deeply, deeply touched by how what they did with Hank. To the very core of my heart, the most favorite character ko for Tese would be Alex herself.
I was hoping one of
Because,
you would mention the main character.
yeah, well, sige, let me be the particular, let me do that. Okay, I mean, just, sige, short answer. I like how she's more fleshed out. I like that she has bouts of vulnerability, that she's affected, that she's not the stone-faced assassin that we got used to in the comics, which I know irks some fans of the comics because they fell in love with the badass Alex. But being a badass does not mean you have to be a badass 100% of the time. Madaming pinagdaanan yung character, and sometimes it also worried me na why doesn't she feel anything? The anime kind of gives her some complexity and some layers. And I like how they did her. I like how they fleshed her out in the anime. Yeah.
Favorite moment.
Ooh, okay.
Rebecca.
Me, what would be my favorite moment in the anime? Hmm. Can it be moments?
I'll give you 3 moments.
Okay. Anything that a kambal says. Of course, obviously.
No,
I love
my favorite one was when Kulimlim destroys their car. And
MRT.
if you watch the Filipino version, they go, "Bad trip yung kotse."
Yes. Yes.
the second one would be the Dowsing Spell. The one that they used in episode 4. I thought, oh my goodness, that is so cool. It's I mean, I was expecting they were going to use the whole tiny scene because in the books, for those who are non-fans, see in the comics she can split into two and she can split into a smaller form, and that smaller dagger can become a compass which directs to Alex to where she goes. But the Dowsing Spell, it I was totally, wow, this is something new. This is really inventive. I really liked it. My third moment would be what would be my third moment? My third favorite moment is Hank. Yeah, Hank. Any time Hank is on screen. So yeah, those are my favorite moments.
William.
I guess the fight scene at the end. It was really great seeing them materialize weapons. You know, Talagbosao uses old weapons while his sons use you know updated versions. And it was good to see some action and fight. I'm a sucker for that crap. You know, actually, I told Rebecca something. I saw some green parts in the chain. Remember that?
Oh yeah, I remember that you told me to point out what's wrong. I said I was going to point out to the fingers. But then again, you said it was the chain.
That leftover green around the chains. It was
Yeah.
weird, but if you overlook that, it was really good to watch, and that was my favorite.
Nikki?
It's really mundane, but when Captain Guerrero was sitting in a jeepney, tapos nag-abot siya ng bayad. That was, I had to pause and said, oh my God, we made it. This is it. Manila is an anime. That's it. I don't know why it's so special to me. It really struck to me. I had to replay that. This
I
is
had
real.
I had the
It's
same
anime.
reaction when I saw Alex in the Carinderia with a
Yeah,
monoblock
right.
chair.
When she was sitting alone in one black chair.
Sitting alone in the
This was
monoblock
my
chair.
life.
Yeah, this is my life now. That's when I knew we made it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's those little details. Those little details.
Yeah, it's the mundane, the most mundane things.
Yeah, the little details make you feel like they are paying attention because you can get anyone can research the big stuff, right? Anyone can
Yeah.
research
Yeah.
the big stuff. But the small details, when you put that in, it means like you've lived it. B.
Yeah, it captures the experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, madami akong favorite moments dun sa buong series. The fight scenes are gorgeous and everything, and there are a lot of funny moments. Pinaka-favorite ko was when Hank fanboyed over no
No,
that was, oh my god, tas huling-huli. He sounded like every obsessed fan I know. Yung tipong, hindi ako yung weird ha. Yung oh my god, hindi fans lang sila. Ako talaga, kay Hank nila ginawa yun. Oh my god, kay Hank. Yun.
And that's not the Hank you know from the comics too, because the Hank from the comics is supposed to be like the super cool guy. It's actually
Yeah,
perfect.
you know, dripping of masculinity, was born of a sea of musk and deer horns, serves alcohol to the best, and also based on a real life person.
Based on a real life person. Not who is
So,
not Manny Pacquiao, even though he looks like him
Yeah.
in the show.
that
Okay.
comparison.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my last question, guys. Well, no, two last questions.
okay.
What do you expect? What do you want them to address in season 2?
Ooh.
What do you expect? I mean, if you want to say something like, you know, to address this particular storyline, to resolve
Wait,
this, blah blah blah. Good, Rebecca.
I'd really like it better if they fleshed out her brothers. And oh man, this is gonna get into spoiler territory again.
We're already in, we're already in spoiler territory. Just go
We're,
with it.
we're we were done with spoiler
Way
territory a long
past.
time ago.
Okay, all right. Maverick Rider.
Yeah.
Because think of it this way, Maliksi in the anime is superior. We all agree to that, right? Now, think of his take on Maverick Rider. We knew his motivations in the book, but how does that translate to a more mature Maliksi? And I would love to see the anime's take on it
I
based
would
on how he's characterized right now.
I would argue that a more mature Maliksi would not turn into the
Would not
Maverick
be.
Rider.
Oh
He
my
would
god,
name.
tama ka.
He would not name himself probably, right?
He wouldn't
Yeah,
be.
he'd be a
I think
vigilante, but
no. I think he would be careless. He wouldn't be careless. I think he wouldn't be careless. He might be a vigilante, but for pretty much not the reason that we know why he did it in the books, but
Yes.
a more nuanced reason. So I'm really excited if they really took Maverick Rider to the second season. Oh, and I wish we can see Spunky.
William.
I'm still thinking, to be honest. I'm just more really concerned about the adaptation of what books they're gonna do next. And how they're gonna, integrate that Jiangxi at the very end of the, because it's an original. And, you know, also Marco, how would he play out in the next season? Because it was so, he had only a few scenes, and what's his purpose besides being planted as a possible love interest for Alex.
He is played by a big actor in the
Yeah,
English version.
Darren. Yeah.
So they have to build that into something. You don't just cast a big actor and have them do nothing. Nikki,
Yeah, I really
okay,
like to see that.
Nikki.
Yeah, like you mentioned earlier, I think we recognize that the problem is the execution. We had too few episodes. I think if we want this to work, we have to have longer or more episodes, maybe both, longer and more episodes, because
So
it has a
30 minutes
very,
is not enough. 6 episodes is not enough.
yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Um, because the universe of Trese is very elaborate. You cannot have Trese without its universe. It needs to be, more structured. And I imagine it could be confusing for international fans if you just watch it as it is. You'll have a lot of questions. What is a tikbalang? Where do they live? How did they spend their years in this earth, right? So we know that it's our culture. How do you introduce that to the international fans? You need more time.
That's true. I think you need more time to show those things. One thing that I've been bugged about is people non-Filipino saying things like this expects you to understand Filipino folklore and culture, and I'm like, I used to watch a lot of American stuff. I never for 1 second thought I have to have it spelled out to me. So,
Mm.
what about you, B?
There needs to be a balance, right?
I think there
Like,
does need to be a balance. So
there
the
needs to be a
question is where the
balance.
balance is.
Yes.
Yeah. What about you, B?
Um, I really hope they address what really happened during the Balete trials. Whether Anton turned his back on the Accords or if there was a deeper story there. I also would like to figure out the answer behind nakauwi na tayo, Alex.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Mm,
yeah,
that was a
That that
that
actually
one.
weird
that was a
statement.
big hint for whatever what that hint is anybody's guess at this point. But and that's something that Budget does very well. Breadcrumbs does that very well. So I would kind of like to see where that goes. I kind of like to see Alex's role clarified. And well, yun. As much as I'd like to say longer episodes, more episodes, that's really Netflix's call at this point. So instead, I just ask for what seems to be more feasible na lang. Okay.
Last question. In terms of Filipino arts, making it international, everything, where do we go from here?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Rebecca.
Good question.
I mean, where do we go from here? I mean, I would say that possibly it might this is just me speculating, okay? So maybe other IP might, some people might say other IP might be picked up by international studios, but then again what I'd really be speculating is maybe it could change, it could like open more opportunities in here in our shores, like hey, pumatok to, kaya naman pala pumatok. So I think I think that would be my pure speculation on where do we go from here. And I hope the ball keeps rolling.
William.
Well, this was the starting point for our stories to be told. So I really think, you know, after what happened with Trese, it's going to inspire other writers, other local creators to push themselves, and they're gonna think na my work is gonna be, not exactly the next Trese, but it's gonna be something, um, you know, something really good, something that could really work, and then I could see myself inspiring other creators too, when I do my best in doing my craft. Yeah.
Nikki.
Well, undeniably, Trese anime is a win for us. For for us, yeah, generally, not just for the fandom, but for local creators as well. So hopefully this made the other maybe producers realize that local Filipino content can be this good. There are other good comics or maybe literature out there that is as good as Trese. Maybe it can be picked up and shown internationally. Who knows?
No, we have to be ready for that. B, take us home.
I'd like this to be the point, to be the turning point where producers, whether local or regional or international, will take Philippine intellectual property seriously. And that is a statement that I really want to direct to local producers dito because I grew up seeing the comics I like, the stories I like, being adapted for TV, for film in a manner that's not acceptable because either the people behind TV and the people behind these projects either did not understand or they thought they knew better or they were just ignorant and they just thought na they can do a better version that would sell to the masses or for whatever and ultimately failing. Not only did Tese run on Netflix, it ran not exactly the same way as the comics, but it retained the spirit of the work that we
Mhm.
all grew to love over the past 2005, 17 years. The Tese that we're watching in the anime is the same Tese that we grew to love in the comics. And that's practically a one is to one transfer. And that rarely happens in the local industry. And it's much more in abroad. So I would like producers to look at this and say na maybe we should take these works more seriously. Maybe we should be more faithful to them. And we're seeing signs that this is happening. Mervyn Malonzo's Tabi Po was adapted by Signal. Um, his work for Ella Arcangel is being recognized all over. Rocket Ship's development of Jaga Saturna is looking much better than the movie that it preceded. We're starting to see signs that the comics industry is being taken seriously. We're looking at all the stories that have been here for years and have all the potential in the world, and now they're starting to be recognized. So maybe Tessa is the first step. Maybe we're going to finally see the Philippines be recognized in this field, in this arena, in a more pronounced light. And that concludes my TED talk.
Well, well said. Thank you everyone for joining me tonight.
Thank
Uh,
you very
Thank you
much
for
for having us.
inviting
Thank
us.
you so much for having us.
and for
Thank
everybody
you.
who liked it, please click like, share, subscribe, leave your comments below. This has been the Comics Cube talking Trese with Trese fans.